Alrighty, from the video. Alrighty. So for every song I get wrong, I have to add an hour. There's 40 songs in total. What could possibly go wrong here, right? This should be easy, no? This could be pretty easy. Wait, am I allowed to pause? No. Oh shit, it does say in 10 seconds. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. No pausing is crazy. Can I at least get one pause? Can I get one pause? Holy shit. 40 songs. It says 10 seconds. Fucking A, bro. Is it gonna cook the TikTok stream? I don't think so. Alright, bro. Fuck it. This can't be that bad, bro. This shit's gotta be free. This shit gotta be free, bro. No, I have not seen the video. Yo, Gospel, thanks to the raid. This is Black Clover. It's Black Clover. It's Black Rover. It's Black Rover. It's opening 3. It goes from easy to super hard. JJK. JJK. Easy? AOT. Oh shit. I had to think for a second. Wait, AOT. Hesitated. Tokyo Revengers. You gonna get at least 10 wrong? This too easy? It's gonna get harder. No. Fucking from fucking Kaneki. Tokyo Ghoul, my bad. Holy shit. I almost forgot. Bro, this shit old. Naruto. Opening 15 exactly too. Play with me. Oh, it's 16. Fuck. Wait. No, this is 15. Oh shit, I forgot. Oh, my hero. Oh shit. My hero. My hero. Whoa. I forgot the name. Bro, that's because it's the last season I watched. It's fucking... I know I watched this. I haven't watched anything after that. It's Mob. Oh, wait, not Mob. One Punch Man, sorry. Bro, Entertainment. That was the last season. Because I read the manga, so that's why I wasn't like... I didn't watch this. I didn't watch Noragami. Oh wait, no, I did. I forgot. Oh my, bro, that shit is old as hell. What is this? Bonuses. I'm not doing the bonuses. The bonuses don't count. Love is War. Scamming? Those are bonuses. It's supposed to be 40 songs. This is Haikyuu. I didn't watch it, but it's Haikyuu. This is Haikyuu, even though I didn't watch it. W. I'm not watching Haikyuu. I'm good. This is Dr. Stone. Dr. Stone. No, it's not Hunter x Hunter, you idiot. This is Dr. Stone. Bro didn't know the potato chip anime? I don't watch this. I don't watch this. That's bullshit. Oh, fuck. Wait, no, I didn't watch the season 2. This is season 2. I didn't watch season 2. What was this? Oh, Chainsaw Man. I didn't watch season 2. That doesn't count, bro. I watched season 1. What the fuck is this? Bro, I don't know what this is. Bro, what? What? I don't remember that one. Bro, this shit has like 7 million episodes. This is Fire Force. Nobody fucking know. No, that has to be a filler. I'm pausing. That had to be a filler arc. No one knew it. That was a filler arc. That had to have been a filler arc. Cause I've heard every One Piece opening. I've never heard that shit. Marineford? Bro, oh my fucking god. No, there's no way that's Marineford, bro. Insta skip, bro. Insta skip. Bro, that shit. It must have been a trash opening, which it doesn't sound like a good opening. So I definitely skipped it. JoJo. This is part 1. Naruto, right? Naruto. I forgot what season though. Oh my god, it's Full Metal. Fuck. Oh my god, bro. I forgot. The same artist does a different song. What is this one again? I forgot. Oh, it's 1,000 Year Blood War. Bro, I skipped this opening. This opening sucks. The other one's better. That's 1,000 Year Blood War, yeah. I skipped it. Remember when we did a Patreon? I skipped it. That opening sucks. That's Hunter x Hunter. I kept skipping it. We watched it. Oh, yeah, but I skipped the opening because the opening sucked. Oh, this is bro, I didn't watch this, but I know what anime it is. I didn't watch this, but I know what anime this is. Yeah, Death Parade. The one where they're dancing in the opening, yeah. I have no clue. I've never heard this in my life. I've never heard this in my life. Oh. Son, who the fuck listened to the opening? That shit was garbage. That shit was garbage. I forgot. Oh, Darling in the Franxx. I forgot. That's too old. Too old for me to remember that. What's that shit called? The fucking shit with Thorfinn. Vinland, yeah. Vinland Saga. Opening 2's better though. Oh, this is fucking Rent a Girlfriend. Chat helped you? No, the fuck they didn't. I knew the opening. Emote only? Why do you know this one? This was before I knew what it was. I watched the anime and I read the manga and then I dropped the manga. I have no clue what this is. I never heard this. I never watched this. Oh my god. Oh, fuck. I forgot. Oh, I forgot. Bro, I dropped it. Yeah, it was Ranking of Kings. I dropped it. It's Ranking of Kings. I dropped it though. I don't know what this is. Never heard this. I never heard this in my life. The fuck is this? I've never seen this anime before. I don't know what this is either, bro. Y'all said this shit was too easy. I don't know none of these. Bro, I didn't know this. I didn't watch this. Oh, this is the shit with the fucking teacher. I know the anime. I just forgot the fucking name. Yeah, Domestic Girlfriend. The shit with the teacher, yeah. Nah, bro. I know the fucking anime. I've watched the anime. I've talked about the anime on stream. That shit does not count. I just forgot the name. It says guess the anime. I guessed it right. I just don't remember the name. Now to say names, you can eat a dick. Because you know damn well I knew the anime. I have no clue what the fuck this is. What is this? What is that? What is that about? What is that anime? Oh, this is To Your Eternity. That's 12, bro. That's not 13. That's 12. This anime is peak. I gotta catch up on it. No, that's 12, not 13. The fuck is this? Okay, now it's 13. Cause I don't know what the fuck this is. I feel like I've heard it before though. Oh, I have. It's Odd Taxi. It was in the ranking. It was in the anime rankings. What is this? Okay, now it's 14. I've never heard of this anime. Oh my god, I forgot the name. I've heard this, but I don't remember the anime. I didn't watch it. Oh wait, no, I did watch it. I don't think I finished it. This anime was kind of meh. I think it was meh. What is this? I don't know what the fuck this is. What is this? Oh, it's this. Yeah, I didn't watch this. Son, I don't know this. Yeah, it's Toilet Kun Hanako Bound, whatever the fuck it was called. What is this? I forgot the fucking name. Oh my fucking god, I forgot the name of it. Yes, it's the fucking vampire. I've seen the anime. I forgot the name of it though. What is this? I forgot the name of this one too. I've heard this before. Yeah, it was called The Night. Yeah. I've never seen this anime, but I've heard this song before. Call It Night is fire, but I was waiting for season 2. It just never came out. Well, it came out already, but I just didn't watch it. Grand Blue? I have never seen this. Oh, wow. Bro, come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. We just watched it. Oh, we're done. How much y'all get? 20? That's not bad. 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 Oh, I got half right. It was 50-50. I got 20 right out of 40. It was 50-50. All right. Yeah, I can get a 50-50. I can get a 50-50. I can get a 50-50. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad. I'll let y'all have that. Could have been worse. So why is it not? Why is the timer not? What? 14. There we go. Was it 15? Boom. That's not bad. It's almost a whole day. All good. Stream's not over. We're gonna burn through some of this time right now, actually. Yo, Wani, where you at? I'm ready. Are we doing mains or ults? What are we doing? What thingies are we using? Put up on the main. All right. Those will come back. Nope. Leave Lewis alone. Lewis can't gift. Lewis can't save you. You're always trying to dig into somebody else's wallet. How about you do the work? Why you trying to always dig into somebody else's wallet? How about you do the work? Same next time. It'll be a wheel. Just not the wheel you remember. Spin for a donation? For donos? No. No. I never said that. You can get a spin for donos. Maybe if it's like 100. Maybe it's 20 gifted, right? If okay, sure. If it's 100, sure. Oh, would you?